The sky was on fire. Ho looked up at the burning clouds and felt nothing. He had stopped feeling things 3 months ago when the war started. Now he was just a machine that followed orders and tried to keep his friends alive. He was a combat medic. His job was to save human soldiers, not to fight. But on this planet, everyone had to fight. They were not kind enemies. They were tall, covered in hard gray skin, and they had 4 arms. Their eyes glowed yellow in the dark. They were strong and fast, and they hated humans. The battle had ended 1 hour ago. Ho's squad had won, but the cost was high. They had lost 6 men. Ho had saved 4 others, pulling them from the fire and stopping their bleeding. Now he walked through the destroyed alien base looking for supplies, medicine, bandages, anything useful. The base was mostly burned. They had destroyed their own equipment before dying. They never wanted humans to learn their secrets. Ho stepped over broken machines and dead bodies. He tried not to look at the faces. Human or alien, dead faces all looked the same to him now. His radio made a sound. It was his squad leader, a big man named Dong. "Ho, finish your search and come back. We leave in 30 minutes. "Yes, sir," Ho said. He walked deeper into the base. The air smelled like smoke and something else, something chemical. They used different fuels than humans. It always made his nose hurt. He found a storage room that was not completely destroyed. Inside, there were metal boxes on the shelves. Ho opened them one by one. Food. Alien food that humans could not eat. Weapons. Tools. And then in the last box he found medical supplies. They used different medicine, but some of it worked on humans too. He put everything in his bag. Then he heard the sound. It was small, quiet, like a scared animal trying to hide. Ho stopped moving and listened. The sound came again. It was coming from behind a large metal container in the corner. Ho pulled out his gun. He moved slowly toward the container. His heart was beating fast now. He had felt nothing for months, but his body still knew how to be afraid. He looked behind the container. It was a child. A child. She was small, maybe the size of a human 5-year-old, but Ho knew that children grew differently. She could be older. She had the same gray skin as the adults, but it was softer, not yet hard like armor. Her 4 arms were wrapped around her body. Her yellow eyes were huge with fear. She was hurt. There was dark blue blood on her leg. A piece of metal was stuck in her side. Ho did not move. The child did not move. They just looked at each other. His training told him what to do. Report the enemy. Let the officers decide what to do with her. That was the rule. Prisoners were handled by command, not by medics. But she was a child. Ho thought about his sister back home. She had a daughter. His niece was 5 years old. She had the same look in her eyes when she was scared. The same way of making herself small, like she was trying to disappear. The child made a sound. It was not words. It was just fear. A small, broken sound that needed no translation. Ho put his gun away. "It's okay," he said. He knew she could not understand him, but he said it anyway. "I'm not going to hurt you." He moved slowly. He kneeled down so he was at her level. She watched him with those big yellow eyes. She was shaking. Ho opened his medical bag. He showed her the bandages. He pointed at her leg, then at the bandages. He was trying to explain without words. The child did not run. She did not attack. She just watched. Ho reached out slowly. He touched her leg near the wound but not on it. She made a scared sound but did not pull away. He nodded at her, trying to look friendly. Did I understand nodding? He did not know. He cleaned the wound on her leg first. She cried when he touched it. Alien tears, the same color as her blood, dark blue. Ho worked fast. He had done this 1,000 times on human soldiers. The child was smaller, but the work was the same. The leg wound was not deep. He cleaned it and wrapped it. Then he looked at the metal in her side. This was more dangerous. If he pulled it out wrong, she could die. If he left it in, she would definitely die. "This is going to hurt," he said. I'm sorry." He gave her a piece of cloth. He put it near her mouth and made a biting motion. She understood. She put it in her mouth. Ho pulled out the metal. The child screamed through the cloth. Her forearms grabbed at him, but she was weak. She held onto his jacket like it was the only safe thing in the universe. Ho worked fast. He stopped the bleeding. He cleaned the wound. He used the medicine he had just found, hoping it was the right kind. He sealed the wound with medical gel. When he was finished, the child was still holding his jacket. She was crying quietly. Her yellow eyes looked up at him, and now there was something different in them. Not just fear, something like trust. His radio made a sound again. "Ho, where are you? 15 minutes. He looked at the child. He looked at his radio. If he reported her, they would take her. She would become a prisoner. Or worse. Ho had heard stories about what some soldiers did to prisoners. He did not want to believe those stories, but he knew some of them were true. She was a child. "I'm coming," Ho said into the radio. "Found some medical supplies on my way back." He looked at the child. She was still holding his jacket. He could not take her with him. The other soldiers would see, but he could not leave her here either. She would die alone in this destroyed base. Ho made a decision. He picked her up. She was light, lighter than a human child. She did not fight him. She just wrapped all 4 of her arms around his neck and held on. He found a small room that was still mostly intact. He put her inside. He gave her all the food he had, even though it was human food and she probably could not eat it. He gave her water. He gave her a light. "Stay here," he said. "Stay quiet, I will come back." She looked at him. She did not understand his words, but she understood something. She nodded, a small nod like she had learned it from watching him. Ho left. He walked back to his squad with an empty feeling in his chest. He did not know if he was doing the right thing. He did not know if she would survive. He only knew that he could not be the reason a child died. That night while his squad slept, Ho went back. The child was still there. She was still alive. She had not eaten the human food, but she had drunk the water. When she saw him, her face changed. Relief, hope, things that looked the same on any species. Ho sat with her. He did not have a plan. He did not know what he was doing. He only knew that this child had no one else. For the first time in 3 months, Ho felt something. It was small, like a tiny light in the darkness, but it was there. He would not let this child die. Whatever it took, he would find a way. The war had taken everything from him. His peace, his hope, his faith in humanity. But sitting in that dark room with an enemy child holding his hand, Ho found something he thought he had lost. He found a reason to be human again. The next 3 days were the hardest of Ho's life. His squad stayed at the captured base to wait for supplies. More soldiers were coming, more equipment. The war was moving forward, and this base was now a human outpost. Every day, Ho did his job. He treated wounded soldiers. He checked equipment. He answered when his squad leader called. And every night, he went to the child. He had moved her to a safer place. There was an old storage tunnel under the base that the other soldiers did not know about. Ho had found it while searching for supplies. It was dark and cold, but it was hidden. He brought blankets. He brought water. He brought everything he could steal without being noticed. The child was getting stronger. Her wounds were healing fast. Her bodies were tough, even the young ones. By the 2nd day, she could walk again. By the 3rd day, she was following him around the tunnel like a small shadow. Ho had learned her name. It took a long time. He would point at himself and say Ho until she understood. Then he pointed at her. She made a sound that was hard for human mouths to copy, but he tried until he got it close enough. That was the closest he could say. She learned his name too. She said it wrong like Teo, but he did not correct her. He liked the way she said it, like it was something precious. On the 3rd night showed him something. She had been hiding it under her clothes. It was a small metal object shaped like a star. When she pressed it, light came out and made shapes in the air, pictures, faces. She pointed at one of the faces. It was an adult, a female, tall, strong, with markings on her face that looked important. Said a word. Ho did not understand the word, but he understood the meaning, the way she touched the image, the love in her big yellow eyes. Mother. That was her mother. Ho felt his heart get heavy. Somewhere out there, this child's mother was probably looking for her, or maybe she thought her daughter was dead. Either way, a mother was missing her child, and Ho was the only one who could help. He made a decision. He had to get back to her people. He could not keep hiding her forever. Sooner or later, someone would find her, and if human soldiers found a child, even a child, the result would not be good. But how? The nearest neutral zone was 200 kilometers away. Ho could not walk that far without being noticed. He could not use a vehicle without permission, and he definitely could not explain why he was taking an enemy child across the battlefield. He needed help. There was one person he trusted. Her name was. She was the pilot of their squad's transport ship. She was quiet and she kept secrets. Ho had known her for 2 years. She had never told anyone about the time he cried after his first battle. She had just sat with him in silence until he was ready to talk. He found working on her ship. It was late and no one else was around. "I need your help," Ho said. Looked at him, she had sharp eyes that saw everything. "What kind of help?" "The kind that could get us both in very big trouble." Was quiet for a long moment. Then she put down her tools and crossed her arms. "Tell me." Ho told her everything. The child, the wounds, the hiding, the picture of the mother. He told her about the way he held his hand and the way she said his name. He told her about the small light he had found in the darkness. When he finished, did not speak. She just looked at him like she was seeing him for the first time. "You want me to fly a child to the neutral zone?" she said. "Yes. We could die. Or worse, we could live and spend the rest of our lives in military prison." "I know." Laughed. It was not a happy laugh. It was the laugh of someone who had seen too much death and stopped caring about the rules. "Show me the kid," she said. Ho took her to the tunnel. Was scared when she saw a new human, but she trusted Ho. She held his hand and watched with careful yellow eyes. Kneeled down. She looked at for a long time. Then she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small piece of candy. She held it out to the child. Looked at Ho, he nodded. She took the candy. Smiled. It was the first time Ho had seen her smile in months. "Okay," she said, "let's do this." They planned for 2 more days. Had a transport mission scheduled to a forward base near the neutral zone. She could take Ho as a medic escort. It was normal for medics to travel with supplies. No one would ask questions. The hard part was hiding on the ship. Transport had a secret compartment. She used it to smuggle extra food and medicine to soldiers who needed it. It was not exactly legal, but no one had ever caught her. The compartment was small, but was small too. On the night before the mission, Ho explained the plan too. He used gestures and drawings and the few words he had learned. He drew a picture of a ship, a picture of the neutral zone, a picture of a people. He pointed at her, then at the pictures. Then he made a gesture like a door opening. "Home," he said, "we're taking you home." Understood. Her eyes got big and wet with those dark blue tears. She jumped at Ho and wrapped all 4 arms around him. She was making sounds, happy sounds, sounds that needed no translation. The mission started at dawn. Flew the transport out of the base without any problems. Ho sat in the back with the supplies next to the secret compartment where was hiding. Every few minutes he would tap on the wall, 3 taps, their signal. 3 taps would come back. She was okay. The flight took 4 hours. The first 3 hours were calm. Ho almost started to believe they would make it without trouble. Then the alarms went off. "We have company," said through the radio. Her voice was calm but tight. A fighters, 3 of them. Ho felt his blood go cold. A fighters were fast and deadly. 1 transport ship against 3 fighters was not a fight. It was a death sentence. What do we do? Ho asked. We're close to the neutral zone. If we can reach it before they catch us, they can't attack. It would break the treaty. And if we can't reach it? Did not answer. The transport ship shook. Warning lights flashed. They were firing warning shots telling them to stop. If they ignored the warnings, the next shots would not miss. Ho made a decision, a crazy decision, but it was the only chance. Open all channels, he said. I want to talk to them. Are you insane? Maybe do it. Open the communication channel. Static filled the air. Then a voice, harsh and angry, speaking in broken human language. Human ship, stop now. You will be destroyed. Ho took the radio. His hands were shaking, but his voice was steady. My name is Ho. I am a human medic. I have something important, something that belongs to you. A child. Her name is, I am trying to return her to her people. Silence. Long, terrible silence. Then the voice came back. It was different now. Less angry, more confused. Explain. Ho explained. He told them about finding, about healing her wounds, about hiding her and protecting her. He told them about the picture of her mother. I don't want to fight, Ho said. I just want to take this child home, please. More silence. The transport ship kept flying. The neutral zone was close now, so close. Finally, the voice returned. We will escort you. Do not try to escape. If you are lying, you will die. I'm not lying, Ho said. Thank you. The fighters moved into position around the transport. They did not fire. They flew alongside, like guards instead of enemies. Let out a breath. I can't believe that worked. Ho leaned back in his seat. His whole body was shaking now. But in the secret compartment, he could hear 3 small taps. Was okay. They were going to make it. The neutral zone was a space station floating between human and a territory. It was a place where enemies could meet without fighting, a place for peace talks and prisoner exchanges, a place that felt like it belonged to no one and everyone at the same time. The escort guided transport to a docking bay. When the ship landed, Ho could see a soldiers waiting. They were tall and angry-looking with weapons ready, but they did not attack. Ho opened the secret compartment, climbed out, blinking in the light. When she saw the soldiers through the window, she made a happy sound. Her own people. She was almost home. Stay behind me, Ho said to her, until we know it's safe. They walked down the ship's ramp together, stayed in the pilot's seat, ready to fly if something went wrong. She had left the engines running, just in case. The soldiers pointed their weapons at Ho. One of them, an older male with white marks on his face, stepped forward. He looked then at Ho. His yellow eyes were hard and suspicious. He spoke in a language, answered. They talked for a long moment. The soldier's expression changed slowly. The hardness faded. Something else replaced it, something like disbelief. Finally, the soldier looked at Ho and spoke in human language. You saved this child. Yes. You are a human soldier. A medic. I heal people, I don't kill. The soldier was quiet. Then he did something unexpected. He lowered his weapon. The other soldiers followed. This child, the soldier said, is the daughter of Commander, our war leader's daughter. We thought she was dead. We have been looking for her for many days. Ho felt his heart stop. The daughter of their war leader. He had been hiding the most important child in the military. If he had known, he might have been too scared to help her. But he had not known. He had just seen a hurt child who needed help. I didn't know, Ho said. I just saw a wounded kid. The soldier studied him. Then he made a gesture that Ho did not understand. Something formal, something important. You will wait here, the soldier said. The commander is coming. She will want to see the human who saved her daughter. Ho wanted to run. He wanted to get back on the ship and fly away before the commander arrived. What would a war leader do to the human who had taken her child? Even if his intentions were good, would she believe him? Would she care? But he could not leave, though I had his ship surrounded now, and besides was still holding his hand. She had not let go since they left the ship. They waited for 1 hour. Then the doors opened, and Commander walked in. She was the tallest Ho had ever seen. Her gray skin was dark, almost black, and covered with marks that showed her rank. Her forearms were thick with muscle. Her yellow eyes burned with intensity. She was terrifying. But when she saw, everything changed. The commander made a sound. It was raw and full of emotion, a mother's sound. She ran forward, and for a moment she was not a war leader. She was just a mother who had lost her child and found her again. Let go of Ho's hand and ran to her mother, dropped to her knees and wrapped all 4 arms around her daughter. They held each other, making soft sounds in their language, crying sounds, happy sounds, sounds that needed no translation. Ho watched. He felt like he was seeing something private, something sacred. He looked away. After a long moment, stood up. She turned to Ho. Her eyes were wet with dark blue tears, but her face was hard to read. "You are the one," she said. Her human language was better than the soldiers', clear and precise. "You are the human who found my daughter." "Yes." "Why?" It was a simple question, but the answer was complicated. Ho thought for a moment. "She was hurt," he said finally. "She was scared. She was alone. I'm a medic. I help people who are hurt. That's what I do. I didn't think about whether she was human or I just saw a child who needed help." Stared at him. Her yellow eyes searched his face, looking for lies, looking for tricks, looking for the catch. "Your people killed my soldiers," she said. "Yes." "Your people destroyed our base." "Yes." "And yet you saved my daughter. You risked your life. You broke your own laws for an enemy child." Ho nodded. Was quiet for a long time. Then she spoke to her soldiers in a language. They moved away, giving space. She looked at Ho again. "In my culture," she said, "there is a debt. When someone saves a life, especially a child's life, there is a bond. It cannot be ignored. It cannot be forgotten." "I don't want anything," Ho said quickly. "I didn't do it for a reward. I just wanted her to be safe." "I know," said. "That is why the debt is so great. You expected nothing. You wanted nothing. You simply did what was right. In my entire life of war, I have never met an enemy like you." She reached out with one of her 4 hands. Slowly, carefully, she touched Ho's face. Her gray fingers were warm. "I will remember you," she said. "Whatever happens next, I will remember what you did." Ho did not know what to say, so he said nothing. Ran back to him. She hugged his leg with all 4 arms. Then she looked up at him and said something, a word. Ho did not understand it. His expression changed, surprise, then something softer. "She called you fatherkin," translated. "In our culture, it means the one who protects, the one who keeps us safe when our real parents cannot." Ho looked down she was smiling at him. A smile different from a human smile, but he had learned to read it. "Thank you," he said softly. The commander's soldiers came forward. It was time to go, had to leave with her mother. Ho had to return to his people. The war was still happening. They were still enemies. Did not want to let go. She held onto Ho's hand and made sad sounds, spoke to her gently and finally released him, but she kept looking back as they walked away. At the door stopped, she turned one last time. "The war will end someday," she said. "When it does, I will find you. This is not goodbye, human. This is only the beginning." Then she was gone. Ho stood alone in the docking bay, came down from the ship and stood beside him. "You okay?" she asked. Ho did not answer. He was thinking about words, the debt, the bond, the beginning. He did not know what she meant. He did not know what the future held. But for the first time in a long time, he was not afraid. 3 months later, the war ended. The peace treaty was sudden and unexpected. Both sides were tired of fighting. Both sides had lost too much. The leaders met, signed papers, shook hands. The war was over. Ho went home to Korea. He returned to his family, his sister, his niece, the small apartment where he grew up. Everything was the same, but he was different. War had changed him in ways he could not explain. He did not tell anyone about. He did not tell anyone about the commander's promise. It felt like a dream now. A strange, beautiful dream that belonged to another world. He got a job at a hospital. He healed people just like before, but now he was healing humans instead of soldiers. The work was quiet and peaceful. He liked it. But sometimes, late at night, he would look up at the stars. He would think about a small gray child with 4 arms and yellow eyes. He would wonder if she was okay, if she remembered him. He would wonder if he would ever see her again. And somewhere in the darkness of space, a promise was waiting to be kept. 2 years had passed since the war ended. Ho had built a quiet life. He worked at the hospital during the day. He ate dinner with his sister's family 3 times a week. He went hiking on weekends. He was healing slowly from the things he had seen and done during the war. He still thought about sometimes. He wondered how tall she had grown. He wondered if she still remembered the human who had found her in the burning base. But he had accepted that he would probably never see her again. The AN humans had peace now, but they were not friends. They stayed on their own sides of space and tried to forget the war had ever happened. Then the ship came. It appeared in Earth's sky on a Tuesday morning. A warship, massive and dark, floating above the planet like a bad dream. The whole world saw it. News channels went crazy. People panicked in the streets. The military went on high alert. The war was over. Why was it a warship at Earth? Ho watched the news in the hospital break room. His heart was beating fast. Something felt strange. Something felt familiar. The ship sent a message. It was broadcast everywhere on every channel in every language. A voice spoke. A female voice, deep and powerful. I am commander of the Empire. I come in peace. I am here for one human, the one called Ho, the one who saved my daughter. Bring him to me and I will leave. The break room went silent. Ho's turned to look at him. His name, the commander had said his name. Ho could not breathe. Within hours, everything changed. Government officials came to the hospital, military officers, reporters. Everyone wanted to know about the human who had saved a child. Everyone wanted to know why the most powerful enemy commander was asking for him. They took Ho to a government building. They put him in a room and asked him questions for hours. He told them the truth, all of it. The child in the storage room, the secret hiding place, the flight to the neutral zone, the commander's promise. I will find you, Ho said. Those were her words. She said the war would end and she would find me. The officials looked at each other. They were scared. Ho could see it in their eyes. A warship was floating above their planet and they did not know what to do. What does she want with you? One official asked. I don't know. Is she going to hurt you? I don't think so. How can you be sure? Ho thought about the way had touched his face, the way she had looked at him with those wet yellow eyes, the way she had called him the beginning. I can't be sure, he said, but I trust her. The officials argued for 2 days. Some wanted to hide Ho, some wanted to send him to the ship. Some wanted to attack the ship, even though that would start another war. The world was watching. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone was afraid. On the 3rd day, Ho made the decision for them. He walked out of the government building. He went to the nearest open area where the news cameras were gathered. He looked up at the sky, at the dark shape of the ship. Then he spoke. My name is Ho. I am the one you are looking for. I am coming to you freely. Please do not harm my planet or my people. A beam of light came down from the ship, a transport beam. Ho had seen them during the war. They could move people from the ground to the ship in seconds. He stepped into the light. The world watched as Ho disappeared. Inside the ship, everything was different. The air smelled like metal and something sweet. The walls were dark and covered with strange patterns. Soldiers stood everywhere, watching Ho with their yellow eyes. He was not afraid. He should have been afraid, but he was not. He had made peace with whatever was coming. A door opened. Commander walked through. She was older now. The marks on her face had grown more complex, but her eyes were the same, burning with intensity, seeing everything. Behind her, holding her hand, had grown. She was taller, almost as tall as Ho now. Her gray skin had hardened into the armor-like texture of an adult, but her eyes were still big and yellow and full of feeling. When she saw Ho, she smiled. "Teo," she said. She still said his name wrong, he still loved it. Ho felt his eyes get wet. He had not cried in years, but seeing her again broke something open inside him. She was alive. She was healthy. She was okay. "Hi," he said. She ran to him. Just like before, she wrapped all 4 arms around him and held on tight. She was bigger now, stronger, but the hug felt the same, like he was the safest thing in the universe. "You came back," she said in his language. She had learned. "You promised you would come back." Ho did not remember making that promise, but he understood. In her child's mind, he had always been coming back. She had waited 2 years for him. Walked forward, her soldiers stayed back. This was private. "You surrendered yourself," she said. "You came to my ship alone. You were not afraid." "I was a little afraid," Ho admitted, "but I trust you." "Why?" Ho looked at, still holding him. Then he looked at. "Because you love your daughter," he said, "and she loves me. You would not hurt someone she loves." His eyes widened slightly. Then she laughed. It was a deep sound, full of something like respect. "You understand my people better than most," she said. "The bond of family is sacred to us, stronger than war, stronger than hate, stronger than anything." She stepped closer. Her 4 arms moved in a formal pattern, some kind of ritual. "2 years ago you saved my daughter. You asked for nothing. You expected nothing. You simply did what was right. In the eyes of my people, this creates a debt that can never be fully repaid." Ho shook his head. "I told you before, I don't want a reward." "This is not a reward," said. "This is something else, something greater." She looked at, then back at Ho. "My daughter has spoken of you every day for 2 years. She refused to believe you were gone forever. She said her fatherkin would come back. She said you promised." Ho felt his heart twist. "I did not know," he said quietly. "I know," his voice was soft now. "That is why I am here, not to punish you, not to thank you, but to offer you something that no human has ever been offered before." She reached out and touched his face, just like she had 2 years ago. "I came to claim you," she said. "In the eyes of a law, you are already family, named you fatherkin, and she has the right to do so, but I wanted to ask you properly. I wanted to give you the choice." Ho did not understand. What choice? Smiled. It was strange to see a war commander smile, but there it was. "Will you join our family, human? Will you become guardian in truth? Will you accept the bond that already exists between you?" Ho looked at, she was looking up at him with those big yellow eyes, hopeful, scared, waiting. "What would that mean?" he asked. "It would mean you are no longer just human. You would be a bonded, protected by our laws, welcomed in our space. You would be second guardian, responsible for her safety and growth. You would be family." Ho's mind was spinning. This was not what he had expected. He had expected anger or demands or some kind of political game. He had not expected this. He had not expected to be wanted. "Can I think about it?" he asked. Nodded. "Take all the time you need. But know this, human, whatever you decide, the debt remains. You will always be the one who saved my daughter. That will never change." Squeezed him. Please say yes, she whispered. Please be my family. Ho closed his eyes. He thought about his life on Earth, his quiet job, his quiet apartment, his healing that was not really healing, just surviving. He thought about the light he had found in the darkness, the small gray child who had held his hand and changed everything. He opened his eyes. Yes, he said, I will be your family. Made a sound of pure joy. Smile grew wider. And in that moment, on a warship floating above Earth, Ho found something he had been searching for his whole life. He found home. The ceremony was held 3 days later. Ho stood in the center of a great hall on the ceiling was so high he could barely see it. The walls were covered with ancient carvings that told stories of families and bonds and debts repaid. Hundreds of watched from the sides, their yellow eyes glowing in the dim light. He had never been more nervous in his life. Was there. She had insisted on coming, even though humans were not usually allowed on had made an exception for her. You helped save my daughter too, the commander had said. You are also part of this story. So stood behind Ho, the only other human in a room full of aliens. She looked calm, but he knew her well enough to see the wonder in her eyes. Stood next to her mother at the front of the hall. She was wearing formal clothes, gray and silver, with patterns that showed her family's history. She had not stopped smiling since Ho had said yes. Raised her forearms, the crowd went silent. She spoke in her own language first. Ho did not understand most of it, but he understood the feeling. It was formal and sacred, like a wedding or a naming ceremony. The around him listened with respect. Then she spoke in human language, for Ho's sake. Today we witness something that has never happened before. A human, an enemy from the Great War, has been claimed by a family, not through conquest, not through treaty, through love. She looked at Ho. This human saved my daughter when he had every reason to let her die. He risked his life, his freedom, his future. He asked for nothing in return. He did not know she was my child. He did not know who I was. He simply saw a wounded young one and chose to help. The crowd made a soft sound, approval, wonder. In our culture, such an act creates an unbreakable bond. The one who saves a life becomes part of that life forever. This is our oldest law. This is what makes us who we are. Gestured to Ho to come forward. His legs felt weak, but he walked. He stopped in front of her and took one of his hands in two of hers, took his other hand. By the ancient laws of our people, said, I declare this human, Ho, to be fatherkin to my daughter. He is now family. He is now protected. He is now one of us. She pressed something cold into his palm. Ho looked down. It was a small metal star just like the one had shown him in the tunnel, a family symbol. This marks you as ours, said. Wherever you go, whatever happens, you carry our family with you, and we carry you. Squeezed his hand. When he looked at her, there were dark blue tears rolling down her face. Fatherkin, she said, my fatherkin. Ho felt his own tears start. He did not try to stop them. My daughter, he said. The crowd made another sound, louder this time, celebrating. The ceremony continued with rituals Ho did not fully understand. He drank something bitter from a metal cup. He repeated words in a language that taught him. He touched his forehead in a gesture of family bond. When it was over, the great hall erupted in noise. A came forward to meet him, to touch his hands, to speak words of welcome. Some were curious, some were confused, but none were hostile. He was family now, and family was sacred. Later that night, Ho sat with and in their private quarters, had gone to rest in the guest rooms, overwhelmed by everything she had seen. But Ho was not tired. He was too full of feeling to sleep. Had fallen asleep with her head in his lap. All four of her arms were wrapped around his waist. She had not let go of him all day. Watched them with soft eyes. She has waited for you, she said quietly. Every night she would look at the stars and tell me you were coming. I did not believe her at first. I thought it was a child's dream, but she never stopped believing. Ho stroked his head. Her skin was warm under his fingers. Why didn't you come sooner? He asked. 2 years is a long time. Sighed. After the war there was much work to do. My people were hurt and angry. Many of them hated humans. They still hate humans. I had to be careful. I had to wait until the time was right. And now the time is right. Now my people are ready to see something new. They are ready to see that humans can be more than enemies, that some humans at least can be family. She looked at Ho with those burning yellow eyes. You have changed things, human, not just for and me, for everyone. The story of what you did has spread through our empire. Children learn about the human medic who saved the commander's daughter. Elders argue about what it means. Warriors question their old hatreds. Ho felt uncomfortable. I didn't mean to start anything. I just wanted to help a child. That is exactly why it matters, said. You did not act for glory or reward. You acted because it was right. That is the most powerful thing anyone can do. They sat in silence for a while, made soft sounds in her sleep. Outside the window, strange as stars burned in an unfamiliar sky. What happens now? Ho asked. Now you have a choice, said. You can stay here with us. You can learn our ways, become part of our society, would like that very much. Or you can return to Earth. You are still human. Your family is there. Your life is there. The bond does not require you to give up who you are. Ho thought about his sister, his niece, the small apartment where he had grown up. They felt far away now, like memories from another life. But they were still his. He could not abandon them. Can I do both? He asked. Can I live on Earth but visit here, be part of both worlds? Smiled. I was hoping you would ask that. Yes, you can come and go as you wish. Our doors are always open to family. Ho felt relief wash over him. He did not have to choose. He did not have to lose anything. He could have both. Thank you, he said. Stirred in her sleep, she opened her yellow eyes and looked up at him. Are you staying? She asked sleepily. I'm staying tonight, Ho said, and I'll come back as often as I can, I promise. Smiled and closed her eyes again. Good, she murmured. I knew you would keep your promises. Ho looked at. The commander was watching them with an expression he had never seen on a face before. It took him a moment to recognize it. Peace. Thank you, he said again, for everything, for finding me, for giving me this. Shook her head. I should be thanking you. You gave me back my daughter. You gave her a second father who loves her. You gave my people hope that peace is possible. She reached out and touched his face, her gray fingers warm against his skin. You are human, she said, but you have the heart of the heart of a protector, the heart of family. Ho closed his eyes. He felt the weight of in his lap, the warmth of her trust. He felt the bond that connected him to this strange new family. He had gone to war expecting to lose everything. He had found something he never expected. He had found love in the last place anyone would look. He had found family among enemies. He had found home among the stars. And he knew with absolute certainty that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast and full of fear and hate and war, but it was also full of moments like this. Moments when someone chose kindness over cruelty. Moments when an enemy became a friend. Moments when love crossed every boundary that anyone had ever built. Ho was just one human. He could not change the universe, but he had changed one life, and that life had changed him. Maybe that was enough. Maybe that was everything. Outside the window, the stars burned on, and somewhere between those stars, a new story was being written. A story about a human medic and an alien child. A story about a war that ended and a family that began. A story about hope. And the story was just getting started.